Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Line Pool Podcast. With me today, I have Crane Guy 76,
Hey, y'all.
and I have Brian is Inked from TikTok. What's up, Brian?
Oh man, just working my days off. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
I should have been home a week ago, man. But it's like it rains and pours. As soon as you get the truck packed and ready to go to the house, something happens or things pop up. It's like we go from minimal operations to normal to everything in between, man. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We've both been there.
yeah.
Hell, all of us.
Well, hell, hey, we're supposed to just start a schedule, fucking probably a couple weeks ago, man. But you know how that is, man. They once they say you're on a schedule, then it never happens.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm on a 21-7, and I usually work 2 or 3 hitches.
Exactly, man. So
Yep.
I'll let me get excited to go home no more.
Oh, yeah.
No. The only reason I got to go home for my birthday last year is my driver's license expired on my birthday, and
Yeah.
they had to let me go home, and I had to go all the way home to Louisiana to get it done. Otherwise, I'd have been in Laredo forever.
Yeah.
That's a shithole right there.
Oh shit.
Man, I met some great people down there, but damn it, I am sick of eating at the Love's Truck Stop and the Whataburger.
My CPA, when he goes through my bank statements, it's like Subway. That. That's all there
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Shit, you know. That's what I eat, like McDonald's, some trash, you know.
Yeah.
That stuff. So.
So, tell us a little bit about you, Brian.
Well, shit, I'm 38 years old this year. I'm consulting in the oil field. Been consulting for about 12 years now. Got 2 kids, man. They're 2 and about to be 3 and 10. Other than that, man, ain't much excitement to my life. All I do is fucking work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's about it, man. I mean, I'm not nothing too special, man. Just
Oh, yeah.
living the fucking dream.
Oh, yeah. I'm working for Marathon right now.
Huh?
I'm working for Marathon right now, running a crane for them.
In Eagleford?
Yeah, in Eagleford.
What are you doing? Coil tubing, frac, production?
I'm doing frac right now.
Which crew are you on?
Oh man, it's frac tech. So.
Oh, see, when I was there, we had U.S. Well Services and we went through a bunch of them. But right when I was leaving, we had U.S. Well Services and Schlumberger.
Well, it's frac tech frac pumps, but it says pro frac on their uniforms.
Yeah, that's right. I think they bought it out or whatever, I believe. Yeah.
Nice.
Probably out the guys you worked with. I don't know if you worked with a guy named Tomas or any of those guys. Or...
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know a guy named Richard Kaysen?
Yeah. Sure did.
Yeah, I worked with him in Marathon a long time ago.
Oh yeah. I started offshore with Marathon on the drilling side.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I went to the. I think I kicked off the Eagleford with them. To be honest with you, man, it was like right there at the beginning.
Yeah, I worked for USA Mobile Crane back then.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I've been in the industry for like 18 years now. So
yeah, it's like me. I started offshore the day I turned 18, man.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't know what else to do. I don't know anything else. I think if I got another job, they'd probably run me off in the first 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. Chris here started in petrochem and then worked his way into the oil field.
Yeah.
Like
I put it on the other end of the oil stream where we turned it into gas and diesel, and then now I come to where we get it out of the ground. And
right. Yeah, I know. Like during the pandemic, when everybody was laid off and you're just trying to find something to do around the house, and you had a oil field on your resume, they didn't want nothing to do with you, man.
Oh God, man. I was laid off for 2 months from LA Crane, and
yeah,
I was going stir crazy, and I looked into heavy equipment operator schools, go run a dozer or something, and
it's they don't want nothing to do with you, man. It's luckily I saved and was smart with my money, but
oh yeah.
I think I started with Trinity over here. Shoot, probably I was only laid off a few months, if even that, and then we worked all the way through the pandemic, no days off, So.
Damn.
I got lucky and wound up with a wind farm project, and all the components were coming out of Mexico. We were in San Ignacio, so like the pandemic really didn't affect us because we had to have those towers and bases ready for all of the big equipment coming in, and it was on a schedule. And you just can't stop 66 towers from going up. So
Yeah.
we stayed hooked up, booked up the whole pandemic. Company I was with at the time, they even emailed us essential employee letterhead because we were not very far from Laredo,
Yeah.
and they were giving out tickets if you were out just cruising around.
I had the same thing. I had to get a waiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truck.
Yeah, I got one from LA Crane, said I was an essential worker or
Yeah.
some shit like that. Yeah.
Same thing.
I think my timekeeper was giggling when she put the letterhead on my letter that sent to me. She's like, "Yeah, essential my ass," but I still got a letter. I probably should have printed it out and framed it.
Right.
So in the oil field, like I said, we're both crane operators, so
Yeah.
we've seen some good stuff and some bad stuff and
Oh, yeah.
some really fucked up stuff. So
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
think I came from the refineries of the oil field. So when I saw them putting pipe wrenches on a chain come along in between them to make tools, I was like, "You can't do that. They'll blackball you for that. They'll run you out of here. Stand under the load? Are you serious?" Oh man, it took me probably 6 weeks or better just to keep my mouth shut to learn
Yeah.
this is how this is done. It was a wild ride there for a hot minute.
That's a
So
couple.
have you seen any fucked up crane stuff in your oil field career? Or?
Man, you know what? I've been pretty fortunate on that. I know I was on location and we had, the 2-block failed. That's about it. Dropped the lubricator and the tool. That's about the only thing I've really ever seen gone wrong, man. Luckily,
Yeah.
I don't want to start.
No.
No.
That phone call.
Yeah. I've seen two. I've seen a guy suck a ball off, land about 10 feet from a company man. And yeah, that was on a marathon job actually. And then just here recently, another guy, it wouldn't scope out, so he turned the key, didn't call nobody, didn't notify anybody, nothing. Just turned the key and started scoping out and sucked the ball right out of the auxiliary head. So
Ouch.
yeah, I've seen coil tubing runaways.
I've seen. I have seen that.
Yeah. I've seen workover rigs shooting pipe out of the hole like spaghetti.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy shit like that out here. But
Yeah. We had one. I was a rigger for TNT, and they had a runaway, and the pipe smashed the handrail on the crane and just right there. Operator was in the crane. He got out white as a sheet, man. It was crazy.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it's just dangerous. Sure, you just never know. You gotta
Oh
always
no.
be on your man 5 steps ahead. It goes bad in a fucking hurry, then it's a domino effect.
Oh yeah, Murphy's Law, man.
Yeah, and I don't think you actually freaking yourself. That's the thing. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I was on a BHP job last week, and we were on a 5-well pad doing mill outs, and we were on the 4th well coming up. We're about to bump up. We're probably about 2,000 feet from surface,
Yeah.
and the pipe just
Damn.
right there at the counter head.
Yeah.
It fucked up the counter head, the arm, everything, man. It was crazy. I love doing coil tubing, but I hate it too.
Yeah, I was on cold. We had a drill out I was on last week.
Mhm.
I came back over.
Yeah, I saw your TikTok on that one.
Yeah, so
You're doing pretty good on your TikTok there, man.
I didn't even try to I got on TikTok by accident. Didn't even plan on nothing, man. Literally, I got on it. You know how we get bored out here,
Yeah.
I was like, I put a video up, and then a couple months went by, didn't fuck with it, put another video up, and then I got bored out here, made a video, and then remember I made a video at the house, and I woke up one morning, I had like 100,000 something. I went to bed and woke up with it, man. And after that, I was like, I never tried for it, I never expected it, I'm not a content creator by any means, You get people comments and they'll try and troll you pretty good, or talk about your production. I'm like, look, I ain't no actor. I'm not Hollywood. This is all just off a damn cell phone. Like I ain't trying to, I mean, it's just all real raw stuff. I mean, I'm not,
Oh yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. As a company man, do you find it difficult of things you can and can't film? Because I used to face that from my HR. Like, they didn't want certain things in the video, or God forbid, there was somebody that didn't have glasses all the way up instead of, down on their nose.
Right. Man, to be honest with you, man, I just started keeping the hard hats out of it. So
Right.
they don't have any names on the hard hats. So if they can't identify you if you ain't got the name on the hard hat, and I don't have I'm a consultant, so I don't have like Trinity shirts or whoever. Or so I'm pretty careful, when if I do video something or whatnot. But I mean, I haven't had anybody reach out to me and say, hey, don't post no more shit.
Yeah. I couldn't stand when people would comment, oh, I recognize those well heads or those goat heads, or I recognize that rig lock, I recognize that frac fleet, and they start just putting too much information in their comment, and I'll either delete it and private message them and just be like, hey bro, I appreciate you, but you're kind of screwing over people by talking too much, just because you get excited and you see something or somebody
Exactly.
You got to be careful about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies. I know a guy that lost his job for it.
Mm-hmm.
And
we had a safety man at ExxonMobil in well, I've done said the client name, but they ran the safety man off for a Facebook post for a picture.
Really?
Because too many people started making comments under it, and we were on a turnaround, and that was back when gas was like, oh my God, $2.10 a gallon.
Yeah.
Well, not compared to what it is now, but they were saying, oh, well, that's why it's so high, because y'all are out there screwing around instead of working. Oh, and that was it. That fellow cannot work at that facility anymore, like worldwide.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. No, I get like trolls and stuff on my stuff, and then when they find out I'm a consultant or whatever, they kind of shut the fuck up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Or I had it on my post, and he showed up on my location, and I walked outside, and I said, "Hey, bud, what's up?" Kind of looked at me and said, "Yep, you already know."
Yeah. We had a crane there's a crane operator, and Chris knows. There's a crane operator who's talking shit on our groups. I have Brothers of the Hook group on Facebook, and this guy was talking shit to everybody, and he showed up to a bar, and they recognized him, and they nearly killed the motherfucker.
I knew a company man too that did the same thing, and he would treat the hands like shit. And he went down one night, and he came back, 2 black guys. I mean,
as big as the planet is, it's still a small world.
Yeah, well, we're out here for sure, man. It's like, I go to town, and they'll either know me from my truck or TikTok. I'll be in the gym, Walmart, HB. And like, dang,
Oh, he's got a nice truck, Chris. It's pretty nice.
It's like, that's how people recognize you. It's small, man, for real. Or they'll be on my location. Like, I called 2 crew last week. We're like, hey, you that guy off TikTok? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Got a substance, sure, but
yeah, it is. It is what it is. I mean, just enjoy the shit, like it, and then just move on.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah.
But what kind of like for a green hand to come in off the street? How would you advise them to get into the oil field?
I get that question every day, man. And I just tell everybody the same thing. You just don't go to Facebook, man, because those guys will freaking tear your head off. Whenever I see it all the time in the forums, like people truly want to try to get in, they just pulverize them. But people forget too, right? So what I do, I would just say, get on Google, search entry-level oil field positions, or just go drive to West Texas or somewhere and just start hitting up all the freaking oil field companies you see. I mean, or where, Houston or Midland, but I mean, West Texas is probably, easier just to walk in and apply for a job than it is where like in Houston or anywhere else, you know. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, and really do some research on it, kind of know what's out, you know. And I
Mhm.
try to advise people too, like try to get on something that's going to give you downhole knowledge. That's going to have you a career, like, you know, frac crew, drilling rig, coil tubing crew, work over, something that's
Mhm.
got a schedule too, so you have a life. Because on the service side, you know, you ain't got a life. You're
Yeah.
on all the time. You just never know. You can't plan anything, vice versa, man. But I would just, you know, tell people to try to do some research and look what interests you, and go from there. You know, and most people, they ask me, I'll give them a list of companies like, here, go here and apply for this position. This is entry level.
Yeah.
No, but the best part, man, I mean, the easiest way into is just knowing somebody. You know how about who you know, not what you know.
Yeah, that's how I got in. My wife's uncle was a safety guy for Perfilog,
Yeah,
and I started with Perfilog, and
right.
I worked 6 years doing wireline.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yep.
what that's what I'm running tonight is wireline.
So you got stuck last night?
Yeah, man. Hey, we had hell with this one, man. We misran two plugs, came in and started pulling heavy, got stuck again. Took a
Man,
while.
Y'all got some bad deviations in the well, or the well's just being an asshole?
Man, I think it's got to do with the well itself, man. To be honest with you, I mean, both two of the wells next to, like, I'm, you know, I have 3 well pad, and I'm in the middle well, and the other two pull just fine. You know.
yeah.
I was on a 2-well pad in Three Rivers, and we went through 7 wireline trucks in 7 days.
Really.
That well I knew was going to be bad because when we got there, we drilled concrete for 33 days with coil. They when they did the
Oh, I
cement job,
know that pad. I know that pad.
they cemented it all the way to the top. But yeah, they had some bad deviations downhole once they got all the concrete out. The first truck wound up getting stuck on like its second run, and they finally got the go ahead from Houston to just pull heavy, and there were so many deviations. They weren't pulling on the head. They were pulling on all those walls. And then finally, I think they wound up using 90 barrels a minute from frac plus pulling to get the gun off. Finally got the tool out. Then the next truck they sent out, they were in pump down and realized, I think we were going 22,000 and they were at 17,000 and they were on their last wrap on their spool. They didn't even have enough spool on the drum to get to where they needed to be. So that was embarrassing. I felt bad for that engineer because it wasn't the engineer's fault. He just got on the truck they sent out to replace the one that just left.
Well, they got a line book in the perforator that tells them how much line, if they record it properly.
Right.
Bro, all those words are English, but I don't know what they mean on the wireline side.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a brutal. Well, you were on that pad, weren't you?
Three Sisters.
We were on the Three Sisters Ranch. It was a 2-well, a 2-well, and a 2-well.
Yeah. They put a workover rig on it. They put coil tubing on it. Back to a workover. Back to coil.
On the last pad, I was running my first run on wireline, and I sat down like 8,000 feet. We had bad casing, so we had to go in.
Oh.
So it's still, I was giving them some problems over there right now when they're trying to drill out with workover rig. You know.
Yeah, we've had problems with dog legs and camel humps and everything, man. It's just that's when you got to start looking for chicken bones and cherry pie.
Man, I didn't believe in that until I saw somebody bring that out there one time and got his ass ate out. I thought it was just a joke, but that's real.
Oh, it's real.
Oh, we've thrown stuff away out here, made people take off location, like superstition.
Mm-hmm.
I could have swore that Three Sisters Ranch was on an Indian burial ground. As much trouble as we had.
Oh yeah, we were BHP and we had the same problems. They were running fiber outside the casing, and they had to log the clamps coming out, and we got stuck, and we had to pull out, you know. And I turn around and I look on the ground, and there's freaking chicken bones on the ground. Like I told the company man, I said, "Hey man, there's your problem right there." He's like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah, but I've been on some locations where they fed us all that. Like the company man brought out a caterer, and that's what they fed.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but you can't throw them on the ground. Throw them on the ground, then you're fucked.
Oh well, that sounds like some New Orleans voodoo stuff to me.
And then the little Hostess cherry pies.
Oh yeah.
Don't bring that shit out there.
No,
And back in the day, Chris, I mean, Brian will tell you, back in the day, it was, hey, meet me behind the frac tanks.
Yeah.
That meant you were about to get your ass beat.
Yeah.
I've only seen one fight in the oil field, and I basically saw the dust cloud behind the frac tanks.
Yeah.
They went and settled their business. They come back out, and it was still. They still both had pocketfuls of fuck yous, but they.
You can't like nowadays. You got to. There's so many soft people. It's unreal. I mean, especially getting in like a couple. It might have been two. I don't remember. It's been recently. We had some green, like some straight up brand new. I call them worms. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And, like their first day literally fell out. And I'm like, I weren't even really working yet.
Yeah.
It ain't even a rig up day.
They quit. Never came back. So I'm like, people don't really understand, I guess what it's like until they get out here. They think they're gonna make good money or whatever. Shit.
Yeah.
Well,
My
you
first
used to be able to hire a farmhand that grew up baling hay or something, and all those boys are gone. Now you got all these kids with strong thumbs and weak backs.
No, and real sensitive, man. You got to watch what you say.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Play with
Yeah,
them.
you can't call them worms or
No.
none of that.
You can't even call them a hand anymore.
No.
There's all kind of things you can't do.
Hey, green hat.
Kinder, softer, gentler oil field.
Yeah, it's all green hat this and green hat that.
Buddy just lost his job working for a frac company because they were joking around like we joke around every day, and someone got soft and went to HR and told on him.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine, he got run off a location, and he's Hispanic, and he said the word wetback, and another Hispanic guy took offense to it, and they ran him off.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's a lot different nowadays.
It's not the old oil field. It's
No.
something different. Definitely something different.
You can definitely tell the kids haven't swung a hammer before by the way they pick it up and start swinging it, because they don't know like this instead of rolling the wrist and shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a blast to watch. I just
yeah, it is. we get the guys. We get like worms in the crane side, and we tell them to tighten up the block hook, and they'll sit there and turn that block hook
1,000 times.
Yeah, try it the other way.
See, when I worked offshore, man, I started as a roustabout, so I worked with the cranes and stuff. So I learned a little bit about it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get any hazing?
Yeah.
I was always told if they gave you a hard time, they liked you. If they didn't talk to you at all, they didn't like you.
Like I had all kinds of shit to talk to me, man, because I was a little bitty, man. I was a little skinny. No, I didn't know shit, and I was by myself. And then when I got moved up to floor hand, fucking they hired 6 of them motherfuckers. After I was like, God, I did all that by myself, and then y'all hired 6 of them.
Oh man.
Now, did you earn a nickname back then when you started out?
I don't know what they call it. I think I just got called Worm.
They used to call me Wing Nut, the most useful nut on the job, because I'd do anything they asked me to do, and I'd figure it out as I went. That was the way I was told to keep a job. I started in the 95 doing, like I say, plant work. And I mean, it was different hazing. It's like they'd send you after a styrofoam shackle or a left-handed crescent wrench or a 5-gallon bucket of steam.
Yep. Sky hooks, all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I know all about
it. E to the V door.
Hell yeah.
Now, that's oil field, isn't it? Because I never had to deal with that one.
Yeah, that's your drilling rig stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen a drilling rig up close. I ain't damn sure ever worked on one.
I started out when I
most
started
of
out in cranes. When I started out in cranes, I moved rigs for 6 years, or not 6 years, 6 months straight. 6 months straight, just moving rigs.
Yeah.
And I loved it. You know, I worked my way up to the top. You know, taking off floor plates and rigging up the draw works and laying down the A leg and all that stuff. So it was fun. Definitely fun. It was an experience. But I kind of miss moving drilling rigs, but in a way I don't. But you say stuff like backyard and all that kind of stuff, and then these other guys are like, what?
Yeah, man. I'm talking about.
Yeah, what are you talking about, man? I mean, you're old. Yeah, I know I'm old, man, but shit, I'm still here.
Everything's got a nickname to it, or you can't even like nipple up and nipple down. You can't even hardly say that no more.
Yeah, you can't hardly say that anymore.
Oh man.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh, news
Flange
to me.
up,
That's all I
flange
call
up,
it.
and flange down.
Yep, that's it.
Yep, flange up, flange down. That's can't say nipple this or nipple that. So.
Oh, I guess we can't call them goat heads anymore either.
I still do.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I don't know what else to call it.
I haven't seen a goat head in years.
Really? I have
Yeah,
one.
it's all rig locks and
Well, yeah,
bridges and stuff.
but I did
Yeah,
that.
they're going to monoline now a lot.
Yeah, I have monoline. Yeah.
Do you like it?
You know, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I guess. I ain't got a choice if I'm going to use it or not.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
And yeah, I come up from the Bowen connection and all that, and then they brought out these rig locks. I was working for Noble, and
Noble?
Noble and over in the Gates Ranch,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and we were still doing Bowen, and they said our next pad's going to be rig locks. I said, what the hell is a rig lock? I had to look it up, and I was like, what? And said, yeah, you got to stab it in by yourself. It's got a big bowl though, and they showed up and it has a little tiny ass bowl on it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, those don't really save a lot of time, to be honest with you, man.
No, they don't. Mm-mm.
Supposed to keep guys from being in the man basket and being in the area, man. But
Yeah.
at the same time, if you got good guys that know what they're doing, it don't save you much time at all.
Yeah, they don't. Especially when fracks are running 2-3 hours long.
Yeah, I'm like, right.
It's,
I've got a 3-hour frack going right now. You know,
yeah,
I don't shut my vehicle until we're done fracking anyway for the confusion. I've
Yeah.
known people go over there and hit the wrong accumulator and they shut in frack instead of wiring on, you know, so.
there goes the pop off.
Too, because it pressures out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really like those HLAs too much, man. I mean, and there's more shit to go wrong because they're hydraulically actuated, you know. So
Yeah.
that's more shit you got to fucking keep up with.
Yeah. I was on one, that Three Sisters pad actually, and I was stabbing in, and it was the old style where they had the Frankenstein pins that go in.
Yeah.
And they lock around that donut ring.
Yep.
Right.
Well, the whole job they were locking on the ring instead of above it. And I pull my weight and I get out of the crane and I'd get off, back on, back off, on, off. All of a sudden, man, I stab in and I get out of the crane. About halfway to my truck, I hear this poof. Fucking lubricator takes off up.
Yeah.
Crane's going nuts, man. I was on that D-Mag with LA Crane. That crane was
22. That was the first crane I ran with LA Cranes. C222.
I was like, what the hell? And the company man's like, get rid of all this freaking shit. We're going back to Bowen.
That's why we don't use it out here, man. And then on top of that, it's expensive as hell, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But ain't broke.
Now, have you ever had them, like you get, what I used to hate when you would have a shift change or crew change for a wireline or new company men come in, because maybe that guy runs it a little bit different. He has a different method. You have to do it his way. And like I need my routine to know what, because I'm looking for one guy to tell me that rig lock is locked, or
Yeah.
they give him my signal that, hey, I've let go of my weight. I hadn't even got the compute. Matter of fact, I think it was 222. That DMAG took forever to boot up before you
Yeah.
could, cable down and let go of your weight.
Yeah.
And they popped the rig lock loose before I was ready, before I got. So, yeah,
Jesus.
that's one thing I always hated about like crew changes, because it takes a day or two
No.
just to get a rhythm back.
So where we're at now, well uniformed, system. I mean, you don't deviate from it. If you do, you're gone. It's
Yeah.
all consistent. We run everything consistently. One guy runs everything. One guy, my pressure control guy, will do all the everything like that.
Mhm.
Like everybody know, but nobody really goes home here. Like on our crew, like our service side, on the front side,
Yeah.
out every 2 weeks or so. But everybody else, they don't really have schedules, so they're always here.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier, and everybody's on the same system, man. So we don't deviate from rig up. We don't deviate from nothing, man. Everything's always the same. Computer work, everything, the expectations. We don't deviate from nothing. So it's always. That's why we run so efficiently over here, and we're
Yeah.
too. It's just we don't really swap guys. I mean, we brought in some new consultants this year, but like last year, we were just like 4 or 5 of us, 6 of us that ran all year long. We didn't ever rotate out or nothing. So we all developed, worked out well, and we kept to it. And the new guys that came the way it is, if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, as a crane operator, the one thing I hated the most to get somebody new was a wireline engineer running the truck, because we can't see each other. I'm having to watch the tool string to make sure I see the tool string, because if I lose sight of the string, I stop.
Right.
But I kind of get a rhythm of, okay, I've got to swing, I got to boom up, clear the shiv, swing around, go to the last well, and I'm booming down, holding the load. Like, we can't talk to each other. He just has to watch what I'm doing. I have to watch what he's doing. And then you get another guy in there, and maybe he's slow on the winch, or he's not paying attention, because I've had hydraulic hoses get hung up on a wing on pump down iron or something, and I have to stop. And this guy just keeps dropping the tool, like not dropping, but he just keeps the gun coming down, nearly hits a flow cross. I don't like having to get used to a new wireline engineer, a new guy on the winch.
Yeah, exactly.
I like my rhythm.
See, like out here, like we've had the same wireline operators for years out here.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the same. Like crane operators we have now, they've been with us almost since we started running down here 3 or 4 years ago. So that's what I'm saying. Like we don't like to swap anything out, just because everyone's so used to everyone, and we know how each other works and expectations. And we start meeting people and replacing people. That's when it starts going bad, and people hurt and everything else. So.
I've had so many company men just get pissed at a company because they pull an operator off, crane operator off, and swap them.
Yep, I'm the
put
same.
them somewhere else.
You don't put
and it's it's like, what are you doing? I mean, we got a chemistry here, and everybody knows what we're doing. And then when I come back, and I hear horror stories of how the other operator was.
Yeah.
Like this marathon job, they were doing a rig down, and I come over and they're like, "Man, this guy was so fucking wild." They were laying the HLA on the trailer, and he did something, and it hopped up 10 feet and almost cut a guy's hand off. And I'm like,
I don't know what he did to accomplish that.
Yeah.
But
who did we work for that they were known for saying, "Oh, you got to spread the wealth"? Because we did. We had a couple of frac fleets that we followed, and like you said, we kept the same people out there. But every once in a while, you'd get that phone call. Oh, you got to spread the wealth.
Chesapeake.
So,
yeah, it was Chesapeake. They'd rotate us out and all that. So.
Man, one time I was at Marathon, and we were doing nighttime. It was late at night, and they sent this guy out for the crane. I don't remember what crane company we were using. And we go to check his his card and everything. This guy didn't have no card, wasn't certified. Apparently, he worked in the yard. He could operate a forklift or something, but I don't know. But he wasn't crane certified to run a crane, man. And holy shit, the dispatch or whatever dispatched him out there. Had no idea. I was like, he wasn't gonna say shit. Like he was gonna wing it. I was like,
oh man.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. I mean, it's like, holy shit, man.
Like
And you'd be surprised how many people get thrown into situations like that and they don't know what to do. They're scared to say anything because it happens.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, the owner came out and everything. What are you doing out here? Like,
make it till you make it.
Hell yeah.
So, how does one get into consulting?
Man, I think it's kind of like everybody. Like
Yeah.
saying, for me, I'm a little different. I literally put a resume to the consulting firm. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Everything was booming so fast when I first tried to get into consulting, man. I think I just got lucky because that's kind of unheard of. I mean, people, how do I do this? Or I get that question a lot too, and it's like, shit, I can give you an email to send a resume to, but that's what I can do. I mean, now here, like usually, once you're in, then everybody knows who you are. Then you just start getting random calls from people like, "Hey, so and so referred you," or "I heard about you, this and this and that." So, but now, man, it's really kind of like who you know, not what you know. It's like, say, somebody out there, like, say, a frac guy, engineer, or whatever in the van, right? And they're calling jobs for a while, and you're like, all right, well, you make a good consultant,
Yeah.
You got to bring somebody in, and then you got to, break them out.
Yeah.
So, like,
Now,
for me though, like I literally I submitted a resume and I got lucky.
Yeah.
That's how I got it. Somebody hand me a consulting spot. Like I did it on my own.
Yeah.
Now, what about like well test? Like you have to pass well test, right?
Yeah, well control. Yeah,
well control.
Every 2 years.
So did you do that first and kind of have that out of the way before you started applying?
I worked offshore. When I was offshore, we were required to have it, so I always had it.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. But I mean, you have to have it to operate any, like, to be in my spot in a consulting position. Yeah, you absolutely have to have it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I asked a company man before. He's a good friend of mine, and I said, "Hey, man, how do I get into consulting?" He says, "You're better off being a crane operator. There's not enough good crane operators out there."
Now,
like, come on, man.
Do you prefer coil or I'm sorry, do you prefer wireline or frac? Like, is it?
Man, I just go wherever. I kind of like a little bit of both. Wireline gets a little boring sometimes because you have a lot of ass time. And when you're in the frac, man, your mind's always stimulated for 12 hours, right? Because you're having to call, different shots. Okay, that far, okay, let's do this, let's do that, So you're always, especially when it starts coming to, man, you got a little bit of stuff gets a little exciting, man. That's when it gets a little fun because then you start playing with your chemicals and then you start playing with your rate a little bit and you break out, so it's like you versus Mother Nature,
Yeah, you got to watch your pressures and all that stuff in the van.
It has its days, like some days it's great when you're like, like me right now working my days off, I'm a little tired, it's good to do wireline because I mean, but as wireline too, you're an ultimate charge of location because you got all the paperwork to do, computer work to do. You're overseeing everybody outside. You're actuating. You're doing all the valve work, everything, man.
Yep.
It's got its ups and downs, man. I mean, there's some days I like doing wireline. There's some days I want to be in the frac van. I mean, it just depends. They all have.
Now, do you prefer the wireline frac side, the coil side, or fishing?
I don't want to fish anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know.
It's not our favorite thing either.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably just say my frac and wireline is probably the bread and butter, man, just because, it's every day for me, Yeah. I like it too, but coil tubing gets boring. I mean, you're just sitting there milling plugs,
Yep.
Unless something happens and you get a little exciting and you get stuck or you need to, make some adjustments. But other than that, man, like I like my frac and wireline.
Yeah. Yeah, and the coil tubing goes way too fast nowadays, man. It's just.
Oh, well, yeah, because short trip every 3 or 4 plugs, and now it's all the way to the bottom, all the way out if you can.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, it's marathon now is it's less than 24 hours. They're in and out, swapping wells.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was like that whenever I was over there too. But toward the end there, they started going straight forward.
Hmm.
Then we went to the Sandex system and all that stuff. So
They put that big ass agitator on there.
yeah, that Sandex fucked up more times than none though. Man, I had problems with the
Yeah.
auto, stuff like that, getting bogged down with sand and whatnot. So
Yeah.
have all that flare line rigged up and everything else, man. We don't use it on the. We just go for it.
Oh, y'all don't use Sandex system or nothing? Yeah.
Now, are y'all on an H2S location? Is that something y'all have to fight over? Or
Now,
used to be what on one side of 35 had H2S and one side didn't.
yeah, I think on the opposite side of Dilly, like I think that's probably more H2S than it is on this side where I'm at right now. Especially when you get the Tilden area and all that. That's
Oh yeah. Tilden is full of H2S, man.
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. Well, we used to work for EP, and they had fields on both sides of 35, down towards Catula.
See, that's where
And
I'm at. I'm about 20 miles from Catula right now.
right, right. And if we were on the same side as the pilot truck stop, that was all H2S,
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
and the other side wasn't. But
I saw the craziest thing like 3 weeks ago when I first came here to start my hitch. I was coming out of the gas station in Dilly, man, and all I heard was a crash. I looked to my left hand side, and there was a Honda Accord had hit a sand truck, or I forget the sand truck. I forget what it was. Man, they were illegals running, man, and all I heard was pop, pop, pop. The guy like got shot right beside my truck, man. They came in and
Man.
I've seen some crazy shit down here, man. The past year and a half down in this area, it's just been wild, man. I mean, they've had them come on the ranches, man. I've seen high speed chase. Man, it's incredible the things you see down here.
Yeah, when I was working on the Gates Ranch,
Yeah,
I was working nights. There was a whole line of them that walked right behind all of our trucks.
yeah.
It
Well,
was just,
we had a chase go on behind one of our locations one night, and they hit the water line and flipped the truck.
ooh,
So I
man.
mean, yeah.
When I first started working down there in Carrizo,
yeah,
and they sent me on Old Mines Road, and at night, and I had a rigger with me, but Border Patrol stopped us. He was coming the other way. He said, "Hey, if you see a naked lady jump out of the bush,
that's a
waving
deep.
her hands around,
Yes,
you
that's
just run her over.
yeah.
We'll pick her up in the morning."
Told the same thing, man, because that's an ambush. They're trying to get you to help her.
Oh yeah,
You get out to help, they're gonna steal your shit.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they may just kill you too.
Oh, dude, doubt about it, man. That's what they're not there to play games, man. They're there for your
No.
shit.
Hmm.
and see what bothered me the most was my rigger was from Del Rio, a border town. I'm from South Louisiana. I don't know anything about illegals unless somebody didn't pay a traffic ticket.
Yeah,
But we were on our way to Dilly to cut down to Catula, and I saw a truck on the side of the road. I mean, I don't remember. It was a service truck and had flashes on. I don't know, 4 or 5 miles down the road. There's a guy walking. He had his lunchbox and he had the reflective stuff on his uniform. I was going to pull over and give him a ride just to that text best right there in Dilly.
that's where I saw the shooting go down.
Well, I was going to just give the guy a ride because it's what 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
My rigger woke up. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm gonna pick this fella up and just give me a ride." He said, "No, you're not either." I was like, "Why?" He said, "Bro," he says, "you don't understand." He says, "The cartel will take an honest man's family. So you're not getting your family back till you run this dope across. There's nothing more dangerous than an honest man who's desperate."
Yep.
Hmm.
So that I don't think like that. So yeah, it's hard to be from down here where we try to help people out to go over there and like you can't help people.
Oh, you gotta be.
Not down here.
Pull over all the time, man. I finally asked the DPS guy one time. He pulled me over. Never. I know a lot of them now because I get pulled over almost every day, something or other, right? But I asked him, I said, "Is there a reason why y'all pull me over here every day? I come through here every day at the same time and come back. I go to the gym in Carrizo and I come back to location." And he says, "Well, we look at your turnaround time. So if you go and you're gone for a certain amount of time and you're driving through here, that's what they do. They'll time your. They'll see a truck, they'll spot your vehicle, and they'll time you. And they see you turn around within a certain amount of time, they're gonna pull you over because you could have done a drop off or a pickup.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Now we had another company man. His truck was in the shop, so he's driving his wife's Jeep.
Yeah.
And he got stopped every day in the Jeep because that I guess something that they would run through the bushes.
Yeah, exactly. Same with my Tahoe, man. I have a Tahoe, and my truck was getting something done to it at the house, and I drove my Tahoe down here, and it never failed. On every day, I got pulled over in it, but it's got ring, it's got all kinds of shit on it, but still the same thing. They might think you're cartel or something, running drugs or smuggling or whatever, But I literally got pulled over every day in that thing.
Yeah, that happened to me on the Gates Ranch. I had to take my personal truck one day, and they said the border patrol pulled me over. I was like, "Why are you pulling me over?" Says, "Well, we haven't seen this truck over here before. Thought you might be doing illegal activities or something." And
yeah. I got custom plates on now, so I'm like, it's easy to identify me,
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Just get you a business card with your TikTok. It's like, hey, just follow me on TikTok. I'm good.
I thought about it on the back of my truck. Do not have illegals or drugs on me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gotta work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working for St. Mary's down there on Old Mines Road.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
this is a long time ago, and the company man goes, he asks everybody, "Hey, do any of y'all have a pistol?" And I was like, "No, I don't have a pistol." Like, if you don't have a pistol, you need to leave location now. Says, "Don't come back till you got one."
Yeah.
I will just say that I'm willing to bet there's far more locations than not that are more armed than your local academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I carry my pistol with me anytime I go, anywhere I go, especially down there near the border.
No firearms. Are you stupid?
Yeah.
No, no, you come down here with no firearm.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Right?
Yep.
But I don't think
Chesapeake.
they don't know, man. They've never seen it. Those office people have never seen it down here. That's the problem, man. They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I never seen so much activity until I got down here either, Because I've never worked this far south.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm seeing it firsthand almost every day. You see car chase. You see all kinds. I mean, hell, man, I had my one of my trucks stolen from the fucking Walmart fucking parking lot in Carrizo Springs. Well, I got gone.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
we were working down in the valley, and the Halliburton hands had their truck stolen from the restaurant. Said, you ain't gonna get that truck back. It's across the border by now. They left their work boots and all that crap right there where the truck was, but they took everything else.
at least they got their boots back. That was courteous.
Yeah.
Yep. That was on a snubbing unit crew.
Oh
They
shit.
stole their truck. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. When I worked for TNT a long time ago, me and the crane operator were driving into Cotulla. We parked at the hotel, and we had to park the truck at the truck parking by the hotel. As soon as I got out to lock the truck up, here come two Mexican guys coming up behind me, and the crane operator come back around and he called my name because they were trying to talk to me, and I was like, "This is my first time down there, He's like, "Hey, let's go." They were about to jack my shit. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I literally when I get gas or anything, I literally have my hand on the pistol at all times. Like I'm ready to go. You gonna fuck around real quick? I'll pull the trigger later. There ain't no questions about it,
Oh yeah.
Well, you just got to be situationally aware of what's going on around you. Just like on the job site, you have to know that there's a sand truck coming behind you that's making its round, or you're getting a load of fuel or chemicals or forklifts coming. You have to know what's going on around you all the time.
Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I like when I go to a gas station or Walmart, HEB, I'm always, man, paying attention.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
In today's world, you got to.
I think that's
You
anywhere.
know?
I live in Houston. It's bad in Houston too, you know?
Yep.
Never know.
Oh yeah, big cities are probably the worst, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you also kind of got to look at habits or what people are doing. My bride, she's only 5'2", but I pity the fool that thinks she's an easy target. But she noticed some guy kept winding up on the same aisle she was on, and nothing else was in his basket.
Yeah.
Like he never like picked up stuff or put. He was following her,
Right.
and she finally like didn't square off with him. It's like, hey, do you need some help shopping, or do I need to find you somebody? And I guess when he realized she was paying attention, he left.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was stalking her. So.
I think so. And again, I pity the fool because my wife's a second-degree black belt. She took gymnastics and she taught tumbling. Like when we wrestle, I don't always win. Well, I kind of win, but I don't always win.
She just lets you win.
Oh, we usually call it dessert, but whatever.
She tries to keep your masculinity intact.
She has to try hard because I'm a delicate son of a bitch. I've been a crane operator for too long, 23 years and counting.
Oh man.
Well,
Oh,
hey,
man.
let me ask you this. Do you and the day guy or your partner, do y'all have to like flip coins of who's got to sign tickets every day? Or y'all just handle them at whoever's in the office?
Wireline, you're in charge of all of it. Started
Oh.
doing, and like, it doesn't matter. Running wireline, you're in charge of all the computer work, the paperwork, everything.
All the emails.
Everything. And if you're fracking, that's all you do is frack. Makes it easy. So if you're sitting in this chair, yep, you there's no questions about it. You stamp it.
Yeah, you pretty much live in that data van while you're fracking. So.
Yeah. You don't come out of it much, man. Like maybe in between breaks. I mean, like my frac guy, he'll get a break whenever we transition wells or whatever for a minute, you know, because I'll take care of all the outside work. So all he do is whenever he's set up, you know, all he's got to do is open the well and they're fracking. So
Yeah.
that's the only break he gets.
Mm-mm-mm.
But I'll go in there and relieve him sometimes too. You know, let him get a break or whatever. I'll take over for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, let him go relieve himself and stuff.
Yeah.
And when y'all go to flush, that's pretty much y'all are in the clear at that point. Y'all have had a successful stage.
Fucking crazy, man. Most of the screen outs happen during flush.
Really?
Yeah. They'll get away from you, man. You got to be very careful. You got to your pressure, a fucking pressure out on you at a heartbeat, man. That's flush is like the most dangerous time, I think.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that, but I guess that makes sense. Now, how deep are y'all right now?
Man, I think we're right around 18,000, somewhere around there, 18 or so.
All right. So what are y'all running, like 90-barrel flushes? Or, I mean, it kind of gets
like rate wise or like volume wise.
Volume.
Man, we usually do 2 wellbore volumes.
Okay, well that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll flush the shit out of it for sure, man.
What kind of rate are y'all getting on your frac?
90. We run a highest. Yep.
I don't even.
Yeah, we're running 10K. We're running 10K casings. So
yeah,
their fracs. This pad, they're running about 2.5 hour fracs. So.
Right. Yeah, we're about 3 hours right now. But as we get up to wellbore, they'll continue to gradually come down in time. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, they set a time limit. You know, like we can only frac for 3 hours, or you know, a certain barrels per stage. You know, if you hit either or, call it. But I mean, if they're fighting shit, man, you're sitting there nowhere. Just call it. Save yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. They'll be pumping on it, trying to get into it, and then that's it.
Yeah.
When y'all run into issues out there like y'all had recently, is it you wait on a phone call from Houston, or do they ask y'all's opinion?
You better have it handled.
Okay.
It's not like, see here, it's different, man. You know, like at Marathon, you got to make a phone call for every freaking move you make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time for a phone call.
Yeah.
If you're consultant, you better know your shit, and that's why you're consultants, because you know how to do things. Or if you don't, you better fucking fake it till you make it and just try something and pull it out your ass.
Yeah.
The day you're here, they pay what they pay you to make calls. Now
We've been stuck with wireline in the hole,
yeah,
and back in the day, and we purge, to try to shoot that gun up, get it
Yeah.
unstuck or whatever.
worked
But
out.
nowadays they won't even let you do that.
So and that's the thing. Like out here, you better make a phone call. You better have tried some stuff before you make a phone call, right? Because you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
So you pump down on it. All right, I'm pulling up. I'm not getting anywhere. Keep pumping on it a little bit. Not getting anywhere. Okay, I'm going to surge it. I still ain't getting nowhere. You do the same time. You still not getting anywhere. Then you might want to make a phone call. Like, all right, what do you want to do? Because I mean, technically, before you pull too hard, you're done.
Oh yeah, we had problems. We had problems at Marathon with it was Allied wireline that was there.
There when I was
And
there.
Their bleeder plug on the setting tool. No. It was one of the gun plugs came off and it got wedged beside the setting tool sleeve,
Oh yeah.
and they couldn't get out for the longest time, man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they had to keep working it, and finally it came out, and they found it was missing that plug.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, really, the only time you make a phone call, man, is if you exhausted all your options, really, man,
Mm-hmm.
or to all the extent of what you know how to do.
Yeah.
Man, you're sitting there with freaking sand in the hole. You're just gonna sit there and it's gonna make it worse. As you're sitting there, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah,
So,
that shit's going sand plug and all that shit.
or even if you're stuck, I mean, sitting there and the time is money. I mean, you're sitting getting worse.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Sit there and try as much as you can before you do make a phone call. Over here, there's a lot of freedom, man, but there's not. I mean, to an extent, that's not like we have to like call an engineer for every little move you make.
Now, are y'all running conventional wire, or y'all running greaseless?
We're running conventional over here.
Okay.
How often do y'all rehead?
Every 4 runs. But
Yeah,
I mean, it depends though. Like if I pull heavy or something, then I'll do it if necessary. And then on the other one, we had the casing where we had that patch at. We were reheading every 2 runs, just to be on the safe side. Because when you go through that patch, it's a lot of stress on that
Oh
one.
yeah.
Right? So because you go from a bigger ID to smaller, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then you go back out. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're running that greaseless, but every time I go to the crane, man, it's
Covered.
covered.
Yeah.
It's covered.
that's if it's you talking about that coated wire.
Yeah, greaseless.
It's supposed to be like a 5-gallon bucket and a hand pump. It's only like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all the ones I've seen. But
Well, what happens is they don't want to pack it off, right? So when they pack it off, they risk the chance of splitting that covering, and it wedges in the flow tubes and stuff and backs them up.
Yep. I mean,
But
some here too, we'll get stuck up there too, but it's just because we don't wipe the line down good enough or whatever, so it gets all gunked
Mhm.
up. And you got to come off and fix it.
Oh yeah, even the smallest, tiniest little pebble in that wire line
Yep.
will hang you up in the flow tubes.
Yep. That happens a lot, but well, not anymore because we started figuring out, okay, you guys aren't cleaning that line good enough.
Yeah.
That ass. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah, they're not packing that coated line off because they don't want to tear it or stretch it or ruin it.
Yeah.
So they won't pack it off, but they're still coming out of the hole 600 foot a minute, and it's throwing all that shit everywhere out of the hole. So
that fast.
yeah. It's crazy how fast they're going, man.
Yeah.
I've seen one engineer doing 1,000 foot a minute out of the hole.
Out here, man, I won't go over 350 if I can, man. I just keep it, just, it just eliminates problem. Now, some of these plugs, like the Boss Hog we run, we have a Heli seal on them. When that water and pump down here,
Yeah.
That's what it's designed to do, open up whenever that water hits you, and then it shoots it down. Right? So sometimes it'll get away from you, but you gotta keep control on it. You'll be all right.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Now, do you have a preference on plugs? Boss Hog or Baker plugs or?
Man, I like Boss Hog. I think they're great, but I mean over here, that's what they want to run, so that's what we run. You know,
Yeah.
we run dissolvable, but
Dissolvables. Yeah.
we'll normally run like a couple dissolvables on the first stages, and then we'll go up to Boss Hog or a composite plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've ran through tubing bridge plugs. I've ran bridge plugs and
Yeah.
retrievable bridge plugs. And
Right.
it's crazy, man. When I first started in the oil field, this guy invented this flapper deal. I don't know if you remember that. It's a flapper deal that gets set in the casing, and it has a cast iron flapper that sits down.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yep.
And Halliburton bought it, and they were using it, but it had to put a donkey dick on the bottom of the gun.
Yep.
When it comes up, it shears off and it goes down and sits on that flapper on the other one.
Yeah.
So
I
you
know.
frack that stage. Yeah.
Yep.
And then they come through with a slick line and bust all those cast iron flappers.
Yeah. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But they don't use those no more.
Trying to think. Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right. Yep.
Now, I just heard about this last year, but coil frac. Have
Yeah.
you been on any of those?
Yeah. We had a couple marathon at one time, man. I think it's back 2013 or 14, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a long time ago.
How do those work?
You know, man, to be honest with you, I never really was a part of that one. I went on that
Yeah.
crew. Never really ran one before, man, to be honest with you. But
They look pretty interesting.
yeah, I mean, I went over there and looked at the design, but I wasn't like on that crew. So I really don't know much about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's more shit to go wrong.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I would think you would get a lot of pipe wear
Yeah,
on that.
That's what I was thinking. That'd be hell on that tool on that pipe string.
sure. I mean, I'm good. Just give me some iron and I'll just flow it down. I mean, all that extra shit, man. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those guys where they blew off by the counter reel, they said that they usually swap out reels at 30%.
Yeah, on the
Said, yeah, they were at 28 when it blew.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. But that marathon agitator tool, man, when they're in there testing that thing, brain is just like I've been in there before when they're testing the motor.
Yeah.
And it's just like a little vibration. But that agitator, man, all my pins and stuff are falling down. It's crazy, dude.
Baker had a tool that hit so hard it kept dropping the cones off of the bits. It would vibrate so hard you would have to hold your computer screen so you could read your numbers and check your weights.
Damn.
It was brutal. Matter of fact, I'll send you pictures of it later, Dave. I've got pictures on our computer in our crane on the GMKs. It's got two computer screens. It's got one over here and one over here. Well, this computer screen went blank, and I was like, "That's not good." Finally, got to a place where I could get out, and I opened the front glass. It's 4 screws on the back, and all it is a printer cable connection that you have to screw in tight. It had just vibrated that loose.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I've got pictures of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever had to frack or do wireline where it was like sub-cold temperatures where the weather was a problem?
I mean, sometimes like in South Texas, it gets cold. You use glycol or something for wireline.
Well, we were in West Texas, in Midland area, and we were running
That's
like
when you start using methanol.
Well, they were running a 10-pound brine water, and we still wound up frack lines froze.
Yeah.
So we shut down for a day and a half.
That's when you start cycling that glycol through all your pumps and lines and everything.
Right. Yeah, I remember when it froze. What was it? 2 years ago when we had that freeze come through the south.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. And then I was in Oklahoma for a couple months, and that was different. So we had to do. I mean, that's the only really cold weather I've really worked in, man. I mean, fortunate. I've never worked in West Texas. I've always worked South Texas and Louisiana, Oklahoma, or offshore. You know, I've never really.
When I done wireline, we were doing vertical wells, and we were working for Chesapeake,
Oh yeah.
and we got an ice plug in the valve.
Oh shit.
Couldn't shut the valve. Got 2 turns. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, they had to bring it. They brought out pressure pumps with heaters.
Yep.
That wouldn't touch it. They finally brought out methanol.
Yep.
Started pumping methanol in the well to break that ice plug.
I've seen the lubricator get iced out, ice plug too.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And again, on the crane side, we were in West Texas. It was sleeting rain. Now we were close to finishing the job. As long as I had the lubricator on, I could cable up and down. But once I laid the lubricator down, my
God.
block wouldn't move because the ice had made the diameter of my cable so thick.
Yeah.
The pins that hold it in the sheave had accumulated so much ice. I could cable up, I couldn't cable down. So that was an interesting trying to get the boom in when you can't run the winch. And yeah,
We had a guy that last ice storm you were just talking about in West Texas. He couldn't cable down. He's cabling down, but his winch started backlashing, so he stopped. And he got out up on the observation deck, and he started pulling on the whip line. And he had his arm wrapped around it, pulling it. And
ooh,
that ball let loose. That's a 660-pound ball. So
Oh.
it let loose and it ripped all the skin
Oof.
off his arm. You could see his bone.
Oh
He had,
shit.
to, he had to have like 8 or 9 surgeries, man.
Oh no.
And we're like, why in the fuck would you even do that? Why?
it's dangerous to be dumb. You know that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
He's
to be
back
dumb.
working for us. So.
Damn.
God.
But you also got to watch out for that ice on the boom.
Yeah.
That adds weight. And
Right.
then you got to tell all these guys out there, hey, don't stand underneath the lubricator. Don't stand underneath the boom, because when it warms up, all that ice is going to start falling.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt.
We're not used to that shit, so you don't think about it, man. You know.
Yeah, my Louisiana ass didn't know what I was dealing with out there.
Yeah.
You got to account for the weight of the ice too on your boom. So.
Were you close to Crawley, Louisiana, by chance?
I live in Zachary. I'm just north of Baton Rouge.
That's it. Okay. Yep. No,
I've done a lot of work up in Keachai and Bossier City area up that way.
Yep. I was just that last year. Yep.
I did a bunch of work up in Joaquin, right across the state line.
Yeah.
That's an interesting little town right there, man.
There's a lot of interesting towns in Louisiana.
Well, right there, and I'll end with this. Right there, when you go into Louisiana, it crosses, it crosses back and forth. But right there's a plaque, and it says this is the only remaining international border between Texas and the United States. So I got a picture of it on my phone, but that's the only plaque left that notifies of the Republic of Texas.
Shit.
So,
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
yeah. And that's up there in Joaquin.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun, Brian. We gotta do this again, man.
Yeah, man. Sure.
Talk about some more oil field stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, man. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead and kick us out,
Thank
Chris.
you. Yeah, I just got back from vacation today. I've been doing laundry, so it's time for me to go throw a load in the dryer and crash. I got to get up in the morning. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All too well.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and end it, Chris.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Again, I'm Crane Guy 76. I work for AAA Crane and Rigging in Addis, Louisiana, where we have the CCO curriculum. We teach small, large, and fixed cab, swing cab, and lattice boom crawler. And we also do signal person, rig 1, rig 2. And we're about to release our lift director program. But look us up online. Come see us. Give us a call. Plenty of info on TikTok under Crane Guy 76 about the school.
check us out on the linepoolpodcast.com. All our links to all the streaming services are on there. So again, Brian, thanks for coming out. Check him out. Brian is inked on TikTok. Underscores in between the names. Check him out there. He's got some awesome content. But thanks for coming, Brian.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Enjoyed
it.
it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
See you,
All right. Stay safe.
sir. Y'all too. Thank you, Ben.
Later.
Bye, guys.